Let's go.
Where?
Let's go. We'll go to the venue. We're going to the big place.
Mejadulia.
Yes, can you extend behind?
Extend behind, then you get a grip. Madam, you extend behind. Can we go, please?
Vai.
Chegou.
Hã? Não.
Please. Let's remain standing for a word of prayer. It's going to be led by His Lordship, the Bishop of Eastern Zori Diocese.
Shall we pray? Our loving Master, we want to give you thanks for today. Thank you, Lord, for our country, Uganda. Thank you, Lord, for our President of the Republic of Uganda. We want to give you thanks for the Minister of Agriculture and the entire team who invited us to come for the function of today. And Lord, we want to thank you for the livelihood that has been improved through agriculture. And we want to pray for the socio-economic development in our country through the different programs of agriculture. Give us good life as we continue to give you glory through this function. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you very much, Your Lordship. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, I take the opportunity to welcome you today and thank you for accepting to come and grace this occasion. Today we are here for you to commission the agricultural machinery that has been procured by your government through the Ministry of Agriculture and More Industry and Fisheries to support the farming community in fulfillment of your gospel of transforming agriculture so that people stop producing for the stomach and in the larger intention of retiring the hand hoe. So here today, Your Excellency, is a gathering of many dignitaries, of the ministers, members of Parliament, the technical people from different ministries and agencies, and more so, the farmers who are the beneficiaries of this equipment from different regions of this country. My name is Henry Nakleto Polot. I work as a Commissioner for Agriculture Extension and Skills Management, and today coordinating this program. Our program shouldn't be long, and we're aware there's limited time. May I therefore request the chairperson, LOC1 of this area, to come and welcome His Excellency to his area. Not organized, do not waste a lot of time. May I, in that regard, request the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Agriculture and More Industry and Fisheries, Major General David Kasura Chomukama, come and give his remarks. You're welcome, Mr. PS.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Honorable Ministers, Chairperson of the Agricultural Committee, Honorable Members of Parliament, religious leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As you've heard, my names are Major General David Kasura Chomukama. I'm the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Agriculture. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you all to Namalere National Agricultural Mechanization Referral Center. Today's function involves the launch and commissioning of assorted agricultural mechanization equipment and handover of 150 tractors and implements units to the targeted farmers across the country, as well as 100 units of motorcycles for agricultural inspectors. Your Excellency, I specifically thank you for your continued guidance in promoting the development and commercialization of the agricultural sector as a pillar for middle income achievement for all the 68% smallholder farmers in Uganda. It should be noted, sir, that about 70% of all agricultural production takes place on these smallholder farms, 2.5 hectares and below. It takes, to give a small piece of arithmetic, it takes 4 men 1 week to cultivate, to open 1 acre of land. This agricultural system produces only 23% of our GDP and about 44% of the export value for our country. It means many people work for long hours for very little money. Therefore, Your Excellency, our vision is to have a competitive, profitable, and sustainable agricultural sector, and our mission is to commercialize agriculture, full stop. To achieve this, we intend to transform this agricultural system through promotion and adoption of appropriate and affordable mechanization technologies, shifting from traditional rain-fed to irrigated agriculture, and improving our soils and water availability for agricultural production. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry has previously procured and distributed 325 tractors and matching implements to farmers across the 155 district local governments, increasing the acreage under agriculture. The units we are launching today were bought using 48.5 billion to procure 285 units of tractors of various sizes and implements, 150 walk behind, the ones we call single axle tractors with accessories, 2 multi-purpose drilling rigs, and 1 amphibious excavator unit. The unit you saw there, sir, goes on water and removes the water hyacinth. That's the most important thing that I think I can think of. 8 water bowsers and an assortment of bush clearing units for regional deployment. The agricultural mechanization heavy equipment and high capacity tractors of engine power capacity 135 horsepower will be deployed to the zonal agricultural mechanization centers, of which we have 19. The 90 horsepower tractors to large scale farmers, 75 horsepower to medium scale farmers, and 150 single axle tractors will be given to smallholder farmers to support the PDM program. Your Excellency, the beneficiaries of these tractors will sign a 3-year memoranda of understanding with the Ministry, which will only be renewable based on successful utilization. So we are not letting go of these tractors, we are just lending them. We shall continue to support them with routine maintenance of up to 1,000 hours of utilization and installation of the monitoring software and installation, and we shall install monitoring software which will track the usage of these tractors to ensure that we can know where they are at all times. Any misuse which we shall detect, sir, will result in the immediate withdrawal of the same. Your Excellency, currently the Ministry continues to support the agricultural communities with equipment through subsidized hire rate arrangements. For example, we hire out tractors at 40,000 shillings per acre for plowing, harrowing and spraying, which compares favorably with 120,000 per acre charged by the private sector. Equally, we give access to heavy earth-moving equipment where possible, and we subsidize it at 60%, where the ministry rate is 80,000 compared to 250,000 per hour charged by the private sector. These heavy equipment units have been able to support the development and construction of water harvesting and storage facilities, various tanks, dams, and fish ponds, and currently there are 1,960 facilities constructed and seated worldwide, or rather countrywide, for irrigation, livestock and fish farming. In addition, based on your guidance, sir, we have started with the rehabilitation and equipment of this center, this Namalere National Agriculture Mechanization Referral Center, to serve as a center of excellence for skilling, training, upgrading, and accreditation of the equipment and machinery operators, mechanics, and technicians. In addition, this center will undertake testing, accreditation, and evaluation and certification of new equipment and machinery imported into the country before commercialization. In other words, we shall not allow anybody to import equipment far. We shall have to test it here first. Based on your guidance, sir, the ministry has prioritized the construction of 19 zonal agricultural mechanization centers, of which we have completed 3 so far. And this year we hope to work on another 2, that is Chiriandongo and Chiruhura. In addition, we have increased our capacity from 3 to 6 sets of agricultural mechanization equipment machinery to support farm operations. We intend to equip all these centers, resources allowing. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are presiding over the launch of the additional heavy equipment as well as tractors to selected farmers. The tractors will be distributed to large-scale farmers, institutions of government engaged in large-scale agriculture, such as the prisons and the army, and communities that have consolidated acreage of land for agriculture. The heavy earth equipment will be hired at subsidized rates to farmers, opening farm roads, bush clearing, development of water for harvesting and storage facilities, irrigation, fish, and livestock. We have also acquired 100 motorcycles, which will be distributed to agricultural inspectors to facilitate their movement to inspection points and ensure quality agricultural inputs, reach the farmers and are in the market, and to the district extension workers to facilitate their movement and deliver extension services. Lastly, sir, based on your firm guidance, I am glad to inform you that the ministry has partnered with CNHI, represented by the Cooper Motors Corporation, to set up tractors, implement assembling and manufacturing plant locally here, and they have commenced some works. Finally, sir, we are sure that with your guidance, our plans for increasing our technological uptake will come to fruition, and we shall be able to execute our mission. One last point, sir, if you allow. The people, the beneficiaries today, are not going to take away these tractors. What they are doing is they will give us their operators. Because what we have discovered previously is that people have taken tractors, they have misused them because people don't know how to drive them. Some people think tractors are for transport, so they drive tractors 5, 10, 15 kilometers. So we want to train your people, whom you have brought, whom we told you to bring. This training is starting tomorrow. It will last as long as the engineer here, Boniface, thinks. And thereafter, we shall release the tractors to you only after we are satisfied. Because this is a big 48.5 billion shillings is not little money. It's a big investment, so we don't want to waste it. Thank you very much, sir, for God and my country. Thank you, sir.
Will you invite the member of the chairperson of the committee?
It is now my singular honor, sir, to invite the chairperson of the Committee for Agriculture, the Honorable, to come and deliver her remarks. Thank you very much, sir.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Frank Tumwebaze, and your colleagues, Honorable Dr. Bright Ramirama, Honorable Fred Bueno, and Honorable Adoa in absentia, distinguished guests, my colleagues, the members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all and I warmly welcome you to this remarkable event. Before I say one or two things, Your Excellency, I would like to introduce the members of my committee with whom I work and the rest of the members of Parliament in attendance. My name is Janet Okorimoy, woman member of Parliament for Abim District and the chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture. May I request honorable colleagues, for purposes of time, we shall introduce you as a group, members of the Committee on Agriculture. The one standing is my deputy chair. Thank you very much. Can I also request the rest of the members of Parliament who are our associates to stand up for HE's recognition? Thank you very much. And in a special way, I want to recognize the Deputy Chairperson of the Budget Committee, whom we always work with to ensure the agricultural sector shines. Honorable Mudimi. Thank you very much. Honorable, Your Excellency the President, on behalf of my committee and on my own behalf, I would like to very sincerely thank the Ministry of Agriculture for this gesture of extending invitation to members of Parliament when a key event funded with the efforts of Parliament is being commissioned. On the same note, Your Excellency, I would like to thank you for taking off time from your busy schedule to come and grace and bless this occasion of commissioning of agricultural mechanization equipments, including the assorted tractors, motorcycles that will benefit our farmers countrywide. Your Excellency, this event is clear evidence of our resolve as a country for strategies tailored towards the fulfillment of number one objective of agro-industrialization program, that is increasing agricultural production and productivity, which is under NDP 3. Your Excellency, it is also in line with the current agriculture sector priority of boosting large-scale production to ensure food and feed security that will eventually lead to improved livelihoods for our people. I therefore want to congratulate Ministry of Agriculture for this achievement. And I also want to congratulate you, Your Excellency, the President, for creating an enabling environment that has allowed this to happen. Congratulations, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, today we are here to witness and give blessings to the assorted units of agricultural mechanization equipments that will later be distributed to our farmers and farmer groups to facilitate large-scale production of food and animal feeds, and also to open up large acreages for commercial agriculture. As Parliament, Your Excellency, and distinguished guests, this is what we always want to see whenever we appropriate monies, either through the main budget or through supplementary allocations. We want to see value for money and service delivery to the people. And this is exactly what the Ministry of Agriculture has done. We want to thank you, Your Excellency, for your support to the mechanization agenda of this country and other sectors to ensure proper operations and implementation of programs tailored towards improved livelihoods of Ugandans. Your Excellency, we know you are the Supreme Minister of Finance. The other Minister of Finance just performs delegated functions. And for this, I would like to say, long live Your Excellency for the support you give to a sector which is the backbone of the economy of Uganda. We want to thank you for this particular center, which is well equipped with so many equipments. Initially, when we heard about earth-moving equipments, even as a committee, we didn't think what it looked like. But when we saw the launch in Dokolo district, we were invited by the Ministry of Agriculture. We became converted that these are equipments which are very useful to the country, and part of them were even used to help us lift the floating islands from the lakes at one time when we had those challenges. Your Excellency, my appeal is that the sector be availed with the resources to set up mechanization centers at the zonal centers that have already been identified, so that these services of bush clearing and opening large acreage of land are brought nearer to the farmer in every corner of the country. I want to thank the ministry for ensuring that operators are trained. Some of the challenges that we have been having with the previous tractors is lack of training for the operators, where they go gambling, causing accidents, and not doing the right thing for the common man. So I want to applaud Ministry of Agriculture, and I want to say, please continue training and retooling the tractor operators so that the farmers out there can benefit. And I urge the farmer groups, so farmers who are going to benefit from these tractors, this is a very costly investment. It is not easy to get a tractor. So when you are given, please put it to right use. I know sometimes we get conflicts, but wherever it appears, please ensure you resolve so that we help our country. Your Excellency, finally, I would like to appreciate the contribution of all stakeholders towards supporting the sector. I also want to appreciate the scientists, because they are the ones behind helping us come up with the information that help us come with the decision which are right and correct. They are capable of moving this country to the next level. And I also appeal to you, Your Excellency, that we need to support research. We need to support research, because without research, agricultural development is impossible. Your Excellency, you recently visited Vietnam. We were better than Vietnam some time back, but because they put in a lot on research, that is why they have overtaken us, but we shall also overtake them when all things become available. I want to thank the scientists. Your Excellency, now our scientists are able to produce anti-tick vaccines. Recently we launched the first trials in Mbarara, and we want to appreciate you, because we know it is your blessings that is making the scientists also do a commendable job. We have been having problems of foot and mouth disease. NARO is in the process of bringing up trial vaccines. We have been struggling with the problem of aflatoxins. I'm happy to learn that NARO is currently coming up with a solution to the problem of aflatoxins by coming up with Aflosafe, which is going to anti-aflatoxin. As a committee of Parliament charged with assessing and monitoring and overseeing the sector, we want to pledge our total support to the sector with your blessings, Your Excellency. Finally, I want to thank everyone for coming. I wish you good luck. Let's go agriculture. Let's open up land, commercial agriculture, produce also for consumption, so that we say no to hunger and ensure the livestock that we are keeping all over the country, we also ensure we provide feeds for them as we go into cultivation. Thank you very much. I say all this for God and my country.
Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's now my singular honor and great privilege to invite the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries, Honorable, to come and deliver his speech, and invite you. Thank you.
His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda and the Chairman of the National Resistance Movement, the colleague Honorable Ministers, Honorable Bright Ramirama, Honorable Wino, Your Excellency, our sister Helena Doa is out of the country, and her apologies, she tendered in her apologies. Honorable Members of Parliament, my Lordship, the bishops who are here in your capacities as farmers, including my own Bishop of East Rwenzori, who prayed for us, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I take the opportunity on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, and on my own behalf to welcome Your Excellency and all of you distinguished guests to Namarere National Agriculture Mechanization Referral Center. Your Excellency, as you normally say, what we call history is your current affairs. So you may know these current affairs from your diary. This center was established in 1947 by the colonial government, you may know better, as a National Mechanization Referral Center for assembling and maintenance of mechanization equipments and for training and skilling of machine operators. Below this referral center, there were the 17 original Class 1 or Class A and Class 2. The Class 1 were 17 and the Class 2 were so many, 60-something workshops all over the country. All of these centers were helping to handle issues of agricultural machinery maintenance, repair and operator skilling at the respective geographical locations. Your Excellency and the distinguished guests, these mechanization stroke agricultural engineering workshops got somehow stagnant in the mid-90s when World Bank policies of structural adjustment and privatization came in and discouraged government investments in hardware projects, claiming that mechanization equipment could not be regarded as a public good, but rather left to the private sector for business. These assumptions are, however, that the private sector would roll out the mechanization agenda to support agriculture did not become true. The private sector is always motivated by profits, the demand and purchasing power of the consumers. Mechanization equipments, which include tractors, graders, bush clearing equipment, and the like, being capital intensive, and also due to the fact that farmers, mostly smallholder farmers, can't afford private sector machine hire costs, many private people couldn't invest in agricultural machinery. Those that invested did so in the road engineering contracts because roads made a lot of business sense to them than agricultural mechanization. Even those that did, by buying a few tractors and the like, lacked the maintenance support system since these mechanization workshops had somehow become non-functional. For example, the current stock of tractors in the whole country since independence is 4,782 units, both private and government supplied. Out of that number, about 25% of the tractors are in a functional state. Your Excellency, this explains the current status of the low uptake of mechanization technologies that stands at 8% countrywide. This situation notwithstanding, however, I wish to thank Your Excellency for having accepted, guided, and supported the Ministry of Agriculture since 2012 to revamp the mechanization function and to bring back government direct involvement. To date, the Department of Agriculture, Infrastructure, Mechanization and Water for Agriculture Production has accomplished some of the following. As the PS mentioned, we are completing setup and operationalization of so far 5 mechanization centers: Mbale, Bungoko, Agwata, Indokolo, Chiriandongo, which we are yet to complete, Namarere, this very one, and Buwama. But Namarere is the referral for all. More 14 are to be set up in the subsequent financial years over a 5-year period in the respective zones of the country. These mechanization centers, Your Excellency, will resurrect the old function of the Class 1 and Class 2 mechanization workshops and offer to farmers heavy equipment at subsidized rates at about 60% of the private sector market price. The cost measure that the farmer pays is for on-farm fuel of the equipment. Government covers the rest, including their maintenance and the allowances for the operators from the respective centers and transportation. At these centers, Your Excellency, large-scale commercial farmers are supported with bush clearing, earth-moving equipment, especially those opening big chunks of land, water bowsers for water haulage, frequent fetching in those districts that normally get stressed, the Nakasongolas, the Ruengo, Chiruhura, Kazo, and the like, Gomba, especially among the cattle corridor areas that are most drought-prone. We do farm access because these farm access roads are not covered by the Ministry of Works, not local governments, not even UNRA. With Your Excellency's persistent guidance to the country to produce more and more, the demand for mechanization technologies and irrigation has increased exponentially. I want to thank people, the elite, the retired generals, politicians who are really dedicating land to agricultural production. Congratulations for listening to the guidance of the President. Our strategy as MAIF, and which follows your guidance, is to guide farmers correctly on the method of farming depending on their land holding capacity. This, sir, you have emphasized it many times, and we've taken note. The smallholder farmers are well guided on intensive farming methods, while the big landholders, perhaps of 50 acres and above, are encouraged to go extensive, large scale, and can also do intensive, since they have capacity and can leverage economies of scale for both. I am glad to report to Your Excellency that many people with reasonable pieces of land are now more motivated than ever to fully utilize their land for maximum production of the various enterprises: coffee, maize, soybean, macadamia, avocado, tea, pasture for animal feeds, among others. And thus there is exponential demand for these equipments. The Ministry of Agriculture has and continues to register and profile these farmers for support. We do profiling so as to know the serious people, and we move with the serious people. And Your Excellency, I'm glad to tell you that the people here are serious farmers. Your Excellency, the tractors you are launching today and the other equipments, including motorbikes for our inspectors, will go to some of the identified farmers, groups, institutions from all over the country. The importance of this launch ceremony is not just to hand over tractors per se, but to relaunch a renewed call to the country to work hard, to open more land, to plant and feed the country, the region, and the globe. That is how, sir, your call for commercial agriculture, employing more, will be realized. Our target, sir, is to at least reach a stock of 20,000 tractors in the next 5 to 10 years, and thus be able to achieve our other target of increasing cultivated arable land from the current 34.4% to at least 60% in the medium term. Why should people fight over land when the arable land God gave you, you've only used 34%? The other machinery, sir, you saw being launched today comprise of water bowsers, hydraulic excavators, and so on. Those will be stationed, as the PS stated, at the regional mechanization centers for common use by those who need them. And the mechanization centers, sir, as cabinet approved, will be for maintenance, backed by the mobile maintenance trucks you saw. These are to be stationed at the mechanization centers being set up following Your Excellency's guidance. Your Excellency, government is therefore taking a hybrid strategy to develop agriculture in the country. That is by supporting smallholder farmers through the parish development model interventions and large-scale farmers through mechanization and irrigation subsidies. The combination of all these interventions will help the country to achieve maximum production targets. When we open more land, sir, we increase production horizontally. But time is going to come when we cannot expand more land. Land is not elastic. So we have to think of increasing productivity. That is vertical expansion. And on this, MAIF through NARO is targeting to achieve vertical expansion of production, i.e. increasing productivity through purposeful and high impact research. The new, in line with Your Excellency's strategic directives given to Cabinet at the beginning of this term of government, we have accordingly given the new Governing Council of NARO clear policy targets on producing research that creates impact among farmers. We want research that is eventually adopted by the farmers and not just for academic value. To date, NARO has developed over high yielding and climate resilient varieties that are widely commercialized in the country. Your Excellency, you are aware of the challenge that we have faced with aflatoxins in our food. NARO has shown me their solution, developed an afla-safe technology to control aflatoxin contamination in food and food products to enhance human health and increase exports. In line with the reason that we are here today, Your Excellency, NARO has developed over 40 value-added products that are available for commercialization and in turn exports. These are available for the private sector to pick up for further development and multiplication. So there has been a weakness of exposing what the scientists are doing to the public, but as a ministry, we are helping them to do that. In the livestock subsector, as many other colleagues said, NARO has developed anti-tick vaccines for control of ticks, which will save Uganda trillions invested in tick vaccines and acaricide purchases. I'm pleased to inform you, sir, that they are now in the final stages of multi-locational clinical trials across the country. In Mbarara, we did it, Chiburara, Isimba, Maruzi, and Nabwin in Karamoja. I'm very happy particularly that their vaccine research breakthrough, going by what their scientists have confirmed to me, will give us a solution. I request Your Excellency, we had put our request to Dr. Mona. I request Your Excellency for a meeting to have a briefing session with these scientists from NARO, such that you can understand their progress, interrogate them, and support them accordingly. I want to thank the colleague members of Parliament, the Agricultural Committee, for supporting us and for helping us to mobilize the farmers on the strategy articulated by the head of state. Finally, Your Excellency, on behalf of my colleagues, Honorable Wamirama, you can stand up. Honorable Wino, our sister Nadoa, for officials who are not here, and General Kasura, we want to thank you for trusting us with the leadership of this ministry. We pledge to do our best to serve the country. For God and my country, thank you so much. It's now my honor, Mzee, to invite you to address the audience, and thereafter you go to flag off the machines. Thank you, sir.
The honorable ministers, the honorable members of Parliament, the permanent secretary and technical staff, and the farmers. In our Luo language, we've got a word called Nino. Nino Matek. In Lusoga, the word Nino is Kulambara. What do you call waking up in Luo? Joe. So I am here to congratulate you for Joe. The word Nino or Kurambara, you people who don't know our country very well, simply means Okwebaka or Gwejigera. The Africans, really, I pity them. I am one of them, unfortunately, I am one of them. But they are really a miracle. When you hear and you see in the radios, in the TV, that there is a war in Ukraine, Africans are going to die from hunger. So then you ask yourself, what sort of people are these? How can people Africa is 12 times the size of India. You can fit India into Africa 12 times. But with a population which is smaller than India up to now, you can imagine. Our population of the whole of Africa is now almost approaching the population of India. But with the land area 12 times. So you ask yourself, what's wrong with these people? And these people have got leaders, excellencies, honorables, right honorable. They have bishops, like the one here, lordship, what? What sort of, this was my problem. In the 1960s, this is how I disagreed with the leaders that time. That's why they were calling me a communist. That Kaguta's son has become a communist. Because I couldn't be part of this Nino. So, for Waganda tugamba, ntekisata muhima, tekimumala konti, that if a muhima doesn't die, even if the cows die, eventually he will get new cows. So I'm glad to see finally now some waking up. Abasoga to wake up to chikoba tutya. Abasoga. Kusituka. That is standing up. Abasoga bazira bigambo. Because you may not stand up, but at least you wake up. Just to wake up, not at least the Banyankore are better off, because they say kusimuka. Even if you don't stand up, even if you are still lying down, at least you are awake. Oksimuka. Then to stand up is now okwemerera. You stand up. So this is the whole thing. Agriculture is science. And it's science which was discovered by the ancient people almost 10,000 years ago, when people learned how to get seeds from the bush. and plant them at home. Because in the past, they didn't know that. In the past, man was a hunter-gatherer. He would go to the bush and pick food from the bush. But about 10,000 years ago, he learned how to get the seeds, identify some seeds from the bush and plant them. And I think that's when the Wanyankore also learned how to domesticate cows. Instead of going to hunt them in the bush, they brought them home and started looking after them. But from that time, the Africa has just been there, agriculture of 10,000 years ago. It has not moved beyond that. That's why you get all these problems. And we have got data. You must be hearing that Banyankore are banana growers. If you fly over some of those places, like Ushenyi, like those places, Isinjiro, Rwampara, so many acres of bananas. But you ask them, how much are you producing per hectare? The Munyankore who is doing well will tell you that I'm producing 5.3 tons per hectare. But our sister, Dr. Muranga, who has been fighting the system for all this time, I started supporting her when she was a young girl. Now she's something else, being frustrated by our system. When she went to Nyarzinga and started producing the bananas using science, she has now gone to 53 tons. The Banyankore and allied groups, 5.3 tons. Dr. Muranga, 53 tons, the same hectare. And when I visited her, she told me that in Brazil, they have actually gone to 80 tons per hectare. So you can see, how can this go on like this? So, I am glad that now it seems there is some small waking up. That's why I am coming here. Now we have the tractors. Kasura has told us that the tractors act quicker. What takes 4 men a week, they do it in what time? In an hour. So, what we are gaining there is speed. So that you finish this, you go to do other things. Instead of just being here, 4 men for a week. That's why when we were in the university studies, we used to have something we called disguised unemployment. They're actually unemployed. So to spend, 4 people to spend a week on 1 acre is disguised unemployment. But what other advantage can the expert come and tell me other than the speed? When you use a tractor, What other advantage? Do you go? Of course, you go deeper. Is it good to go deeper? Tell us, because now that we are waking up, we need to know all that.
Thank you, Excellency. The advantage of doing a tractorization is, other than acting quicker, these tractors help us to ease penetration, that is soften the soil, so that if there is little rain, you should be able to get enough water for the plant. And it also gives you timely planting.
Okay.
Timely planting.
So now you can hear the advantages.
And this equipment, other than only opening of the land, it has activities that you will be able to use them for pumping water for irrigation. So you don't only use this tractor for plowing.
I will come to those. I just wanted the other one.
But Your Excellency, also tractors don't get sick. So I think that is the biggest advantage in my view. They don't get sick, they are not hungry, you only need to feed them with fuel and maintain them. So thank you, sir.
Very good. So now you can hear how the tractors will change this flooding you see. When you see there is flooding, some of the flooding is caused by the what we call in Luo alele. The Baganda call it omkoka. The Banyankole call it omtunga. Now, when this alele comes, when the ground is compacted, when the ground is hardened, the water passes on top and goes off. That's why you get flooding. But if the soil is loose, then the water will sink in the soil. And it will make, so all those are advantages of the tractors. And Kasur has said that they also don't get sick, so they don't need sick leave and maternity leave and all of those. But now, as the Commission has told you, these equipments, some of them are for planting. You can also use them to plant. Some of them can pump water. I have seen one where I am normally a customer, the one of Okweya dams. Okweya, what you fellow you would call in your language, desilting. I saw it there. They need to come and help me because my dams are now full of papyrus and all that. But with the long arm, it can pull out the vegetation, but also pull out the omshayo, the mud at the bottom. But now, this is one side. Now that we have chore, we must really chore, not remain half asleep. After plowing, you must plow also in the right way. Where you live what we call agro practices, good agro practices, like for instance having trenches along the contours which can capture the water and keep it there, having spacing, using fertilizers, So that, and irrigation, because that's what Dr. Muranga is doing. That's where she has gone from the Banyankore 5 tons to 53 tons, 10 times. So you can imagine, Uganda now is one of the biggest producers of bananas in the whole world. I think it is second to India. Even when we are using the primitive technology, but we are still. So you can imagine, if we now follow Dr. Muranga, where shall we put these bananas? Production will be so big, even fighting for land among families, because the land they have, they are not using it properly, then they start fighting. Instead of knowing that the same land can produce much more for all of them. So I am here to therefore do this simple work of commissioning this machinery, but this is one aspect of the whole effort of modernization of agriculture. What is important also here is that they are not just importing tractors already built, they are assembling them here. They import them knocked down, then they come and assemble them here. How much does that, what percentage does that save on value? What percentage?
Your Excellency, it saves 40% of the total cost.
What?
It saves 40% of the total cost of a tractor.
40?
Yes.
Ooh. So you can hear the Nino. Because previously they were importing an already built tractor. Now that tractor which is already built takes a lot of space on the ship. Takes a lot of space on the ship. So the ship people say you must pay a lot of money because your tractor is covering a big space. And you cannot put tractors on top of one another when they are already built. But when they are knocked down, you can put the parts in crates. They use less space on the ship. That's why that simple act, that simple Garvin spectacles of seeing what is correct. This is the problem. Africa bazira Garvindi. Africans don't have spectacles, they don't see. Now you can imagine that little thing of, instead of importing, it's the same tractor, but when it is built, you will spend more money on its transport than on even the so 40%. And now I want to congratulate agriculture for this Garvindi Banangi. But I say kwambara Garvindi zirabako. So where they are moving now with their partner, Cooper something, there was a Mzungu who was here. They will now start making some of the parts here, manufacturing them here. So the value made here will no longer be 40%, it will be more than that. And in the end, we can make the whole tractor here. So I'm very happy to be here, and I congratulate you. It is now, I have already commissioned the project, so I now inform you that I have.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, for the words of wisdom and guidance. And now it is really time for the you have commissioned. Now it is flagging off this equipment. So, Your Excellency, you'll be flagging off the equipment for the beneficiaries. And the team that joined His Excellency in inspecting the equipment will step forward to join him at the place of flagging off. The honorable ministers, please, will come forward and join the president in flagging off the equipment. The team that received the president up there, please, you're the same people. And then the representative of the beneficiaries, that is Mr. Akuta from Amuria, Akutu. Then Ambassador Makmot from Oyam, and the bishop from Renzori, East Renzori Diocese. Please join in flagging off the equipment. The rest of us will remain where we are. Thank you very much. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for performing that duty. So after that now, as Excellency gets back to the tent, we get to sing the anthems. So thank you, and may all rise then for the anthems, having successfully come to the end of this function where the Excellency has commissioned the tractors. Thank you. Thank you very much. So all the invited guests, please, there's lunch for us so we can stay behind. Thank you.
Excuse. Hello. The announcement is, if you have come with the people to be trained, who are supposed to be trained as operators, you leave them behind here. We are going to get in touch with them, register their names, and then we take them where we are going to accommodate them and start the training. After the training, that's when we now deliver the tractor to you. Please leave the person behind with us. If you have not come with him, please send him by tomorrow to this place here. And also, please don't leave. We prepared some lunch. Let's share the lunch with us. So we have a lunch with
UBC, inspiring Uganda.